In your middle age to decrease the chances of being more seriously afflicted with that sort of thing. And a lot of the science is new because science had quite appropriately been studying people who had severe dementia to try to figure out what's going on, can they be helped, that sort of thing. And it's only now that they've started to move into, all right, well, what does this look like really early on? And let's talk about the people who do get more severe dementia and those who don't, and what kind of lives they live and the things they do, which is obviously, it's like a lung cancer. It turns out all these people smoked, or 90% of them. That's worth knowing. So the bad news is this is not like some sort of hack that people who brush their teeth with the opposite hand once a week don't get dementia.
I wanted a lot of simple life hack.
Yeah, well, that's the bad news. The good news is this appears to be very, very promising science, but it has to do with the white matter in your brain, which are the connectors between the brain areas. As you age in your 40s and 50s, they decrease in volume, which means slower processing speed. You have more life experience, you have more data, more wisdom, if you will, but the processor doesn't run quite as fast, and we all deal with that. We all must deal with that. All right, so what do? Heart health is brain health. Same things that can lead to blockage of arteries can affect arteries to the brain, impeding blood flow and oxygen delivery, allowing plaques to build up, that sort of thing. Exercise regularly, eat a healthy diet, do not smoke, avoid getting or managing, or do better managing conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, obesity, obstructive sleep apnea, and this is intuitive. Challenge your brain. Challenge it regularly. Do puzzles. Learn to play an instrument. Try to learn another language. Whatever. Read, learn. Whatever you can do to keep your brain functioning, keeps your brain functioning.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It's just like your muscles.
One of the great revelations that I heard not long ago, we talked about it on the show, it was probably a few years ago, was that at that point you feel frustrated. That's when you're doing your brain some good.
Yeah, that's the thing with puzzles. A lot of puzzles are fun, but if they're not actually like, this is freaking pissing me off hard,
right?
It's not doing you the good that, like, trying to learn the piano, try to do two-hand independence on a piano. You want to hurt your brain? That'll hurt your brain.
But in a good way. It hurts so good.
Yeah, and I can see why we tend to want to stay away from that, especially as we get older. I've learned enough. I just want to do things that are easy for the rest of my life.
And I'm a man who craves leisure, but I am going to embrace that feeling and start challenging my brain more. I suggest you do too. Good luck.
Armstrong and Getty.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Talk Radio 560 KSFO San Francisco, KSAN HD2 San Mateo, a Cumulus media station.
Anguish in a Michigan courtroom. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The families of 4 teenagers killed in the Oxford High School shooting in 2021 giving victim impact statements at the sentencing of the shooter's parents.
Watching the video, hearing testimony on how your son executed my daughter, watching him put the gun to her head as She covered her head and pulled the trigger.
Nicole Beausoleil lost her daughter Madison and says Jennifer and James Crumbly's involuntary manslaughter conviction doesn't reflect the choices they made, not doing enough to address his mental health issues and buying him the gun.
You failed as parents. The punishment that you face will never be enough. It will never bring her back. It will never be a loss that you have suffered. It will never heal the pain.
The shooter, Ethan Crumbly, who was 15 at the time, is already serving life in prison. His parents face up to 15 years in what's considered a landmark case. Jennifer Crumbly just telling the court she didn't know until the police probe after the shooting that her son had been planning a mass shooting.
Not only were you left in the dark about previous concerning behavior, but in the counselor's office that morning, none of those previous issues were brought to our attention.
Including drawing pictures of guns on his schoolwork. Norfolk Southern agrees to a $600 million settlement over last year's toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. If approved in court, it would resolve class action claims within a 20-mile radius of the crash site and personal injury claims in a 10-mile radius.
Payments could begin by the end of the year. Norfolk Southern also saying that the settlement doesn't include or constitute any admission of liability, wrongdoing, or fault. It's already spent more than $1.1 billion in its cleanup response and promised to create a fund to help pay for long-term health needs of the community.
Fox's Jeff Benasso. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2020.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, if you see a huge group of people and maybe they're in line to do something and they seem happy about it, you have to wonder, okay, what am I missing? What's going on here? What are these people excited about? Well, in this case, it's thousands of people, and they're joining MediShare. Why? Well, MediShare is a much more affordable alternative to health insurance. It's reliable, too. It's a well-run community of Christians. They've been sharing each other's medical expenses for more than 30 years, so it's proven. And if you switch, you'll likely save hundreds of dollars a month. Most members wind up paying about half what they used to. And you know what? They find they like it better. MediShare's member satisfaction rate is 98%. That's way better than health insurance, as you might imagine. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. You get telehealth 24/7. Huge freedom in choosing your doctors. At least check into it. This may be one of those things where you're like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Why not start saving now? Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
KSFO traffic from the Tilton Auto Body Desk.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer ends 6/1. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
Better news in Fairfield. That crash cleared East 80 before North Texas Street. San Leandro, it's a crash involving a hazmat truck. It's off to the side. Northbound 880 past 238. The Baber Ride still jammed at the toll plaza there with some heavy traffic stretches across the span. And looks like San Mateo, word of a crash. Westbound 92 before Delaware. That's traffic. I'm Elaine Leung.
This report is sponsored by Pacific Coast Termite. Americans pay about $5 billion to control termites and repair their damage every year. Many people underestimate exactly how much damage they do. Call Pacific Coast Termite today at 800-PACIFIC for a free home inspection. Certain restrictions apply.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow, nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the bite to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
You know, it's a big I used to do it on my Fox show. It's just I was reading some comments about my on my Facebook page about I just finished up my podcast. We roll right into the radio show, as you know. And debating leftists is obviously really hard because the leftists never want to take a position on anything. Did you notice that? I'm bringing this up because of the current abortion issue, and I'm going to get to that later. I want to start in a different spot, but I just want to kind of poke a little bit at the bear here as we start the show. Folks, do not get into a debate with a leftist about abortion until this criteria is met. You ready? Coming out fired. If the leftist is not willing to state what their position is, do not debate. Don't do it. Why would you? You know, if we're going to get into a debate, correct? Let's make it, pull the abortion issue out for a second, because I get it, emotions and antenna go up, right? Ding, 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 and people, all of a sudden the emotions
That is
cloud.
not how you drive on the
Let me ask
shoulder
you a
like
question, divorce from the abortion topic for a moment. Say we want to debate a sports thing. Who was a better center, Hakeem Olajuwon or David Robinson, right? If I'm going to get into that debate with you, then you have to tell me what your position is. Who was the best center, right? If we're going to debate who the best center was, and I tell you in advance, well, I think Hakeem Olajuwon was the best I've ever seen. You know, the debate can't end with, well, and your opinion is, oh, I don't have one. Well, then we're not debating over who the best center is, correct? I stated an opinion, and you said absolutely nothing. Jim, why are you laughing? It's true. But it's weird with abortion, how Republicans... The only reason I'm bringing this up is I want to start in a different spot, but someone sent me a Facebook message, Dan, what would you do if your daughter was raped? Oh, that's a really awful question, but I understand. It's a really awful thing to send my way. I know what you're doing. But, okay, fine. Let me ask, let's just start first. So you started with, obviously, a crisis pregnancy and the most horrific example around. So let's just turn around on you. So you're suggesting you're willing to accept what? You're willing to accept that you don't want abortion, but you'll make an exception for what? Rape, incest, and life of the mother. Is that what you're saying? I can almost guarantee you the people debating this with me will say, no, I don't want any limits on it. Okay, well, if you don't want any limits on abortion, then you're the radical, not me. Now, to the lady who sent it to me, I don't think that's her position. She sounds to me like a Republican who supports basically what Trump's position is for exceptions. And a lot of people have those exceptions. I personally don't. It's a horrible example to send my way. It's a crisis pregnancy. And unfortunately, there's no easy way out of hard decisions. But if you believe in a principle, the principle should matter. And life matters to me. But it's really unfair to get into an asymmetric debate with liberals who aren't willing to stake out a position. You know what, I may play this again later. Jim, I'm sorry, I gotta go here. This is on my mind now. Cut 7 for me, Tarloff. Jessica Tarloff was a leftist. She's a liberal. She was on last night on Fox News with Brett Baer. Brett's a journalist, not an opinion guy. He has opinions, but he's not an opinion guy. He does interviews. So Brett has Jessica Tarloff on a panel. And I want you to watch again how they always frame these arguments in terms of crisis pregnancies and the worst case scenario. And yet when you ask them, okay, I'm willing to discuss that. I will stake a position out on incest, rape, life of the mother. Life of the mother, I think, is pretty good, which is, by the way, exceedingly rare. But if it's a legitimate medical case, I think a lot of people understand that a horrible decision is going to have to be made, okay? It's exceedingly rare. And ectopic pregnancies are not abortion. The baby and the mother will die in ectopic pregnancy. So don't even bring that up. That's a red herring. That's not a real argument. There's no state where an ectopic pregnancy you'd be for, because you can't, or you'd be dead. But it's amazing to me how, again, when you say, okay, well, I'm willing to discuss that with you. I've already staked my position out, and why? What is your position?
Yeah, it's draining.
Watch what happens when Tarloff is put back on her heels and asked basically to defend the position. Because she doesn't have their position basically is abortion up until and including after birth, some of these folks. Here, listen to me.
People are not having abortions in the 8th and the 9th month unless there are catastrophic medical circumstances. That's a fallacy that the right is trying to push about Democrats. And what Democrats are saying is that this is a decision between you and your doctor to make sure that you can have a safe delivery and a viable child if you are that far along in your pregnancy. So we're going to be pushing back hard against that. The numbers just don't support that kind of argument, and they are harrowing stories when a woman has to have an abortion somewhere close to the end at the 9-month level, for instance.
Understood, but there should be support then for no late-term abortion legislation across the board, partisan.
Well, but the issue there is that could take away the rights of doctors and the woman who is carrying the fetus to make a decision that's best for her health if she's in a state that has a ban on late term.
Again, we could go round here, Jessica, but if you have exceptions, life of the mother and health, you could have a lot of exceptions in whatever legislation is built.
You see that? You see how she doesn't want to stake a position out? Because she understands the now radical Democrat position, which wasn't always the position used to be in the Clinton era, safe, legal, and rare. Make abortion safe, make it legal, but keep it rare. The position now is not that anymore. The position now, which ironically they're trying to pin the radical label on you in this perverse word association game. The position with the Democrat Party now, which is mainstream, is no limitations on abortion at all. But the odd thing is, this isn't even about abortion. This is about straight up killing babies that have been born. Jim Cunning. Remember this back in 2019? Former governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam. He was the guy either in the Ku Klux Klan hood or the blackface. We still haven't determined which one. I'd love for him to clear that up. No, I was the Ku Klux Klan guy. By the way, do you think I'm making this up in some kind of sick, perverse joke? Sadly, tragically, I am not. You can actually look that up yourself. Here's Ralph Northam on a D.C. area radio station back in 2019. Having a conversation about, this really happened, in case some of you missed it. Having a conversation about a fully born infant on a table and how the doctor and the woman should have a discussion about what to do with it. What's the discussion? You notice how they don't want to talk about what the discussion is. Kill that baby. What else would you be talking about? But watch how he talks about the so cavalierly, like this is not an insane thing to be discussing. Check this out.
Well, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
What exactly is it? I don't understand what the discussion is. He's discussing a baby on the table. It's not a fetus. It's not a clump of cells. It's not a pile of hair and nails. It's a baby on a table. What exactly
Not
is the
supposed to
discussion?
drive like that on the shoulder. People are stupid
What?
around here.
Any of you lefties and by the way, I know you pee it in your diapers, lefties, clawing it in your faces. I know you're obsessed with killing babies. Like, I get it. I know that's your thing. So I know you're all upset right now. I know you're scratching at your own faces, clawing at your skin, scratching yourselves, howling like lunatic. I can already sense it because you're all maniacs. I've staked my position out on abortion, have I not? I believe in protecting life from conception to a natural death. Because I believe life is important. That's why it's clear as day. You don't have to agree with it. That's the beautiful part of a constitutional republic. You are absolutely free to make a political and you can even try a moral case against that. I'm willing to entertain it. I'm just asking you, what's your position? What discussion is Ralph Northam and the Democrats talking about? What discussion are they talking about when a fully formed third trimester baby, you're just killing the baby and like stuck in a mouth? What discussion is that? Yeah. It's amazing how they paint us as the radicals, right?
It's not how you drive,
Republican Party
stupid rich
has
snob.
a fairly broad view on certain abortion issues. Not all, which obviously, I mean, President Trump, I'm a supporter, have been. I think he's done more for the pro-life cause than a lot of talkers. But we do disagree on certain bedrock principles on it. We don't disagree on the end game, we just disagree on the path together. But that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. Where is the disagreement on the Democrat side? Where are the Democrats? I'm asking folks, Rumble folks, Facebook chatsters, everyone, send me a mainstream Democrat. I'm not talking about some like wackadoodle or something. Send me a mainstream Democrat up on Capitol Hill and what their reasonable limits on abortion are. I'd love to see it. Are there any? Folks, do not engage, do not lose this debate. This is the one debate. Remember back to the Senate campaigns? I'm not even going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. Where Republican candidates have been destroyed on this issue over and over again. And why? It's because they debate on leftist terms. That is a huge mistake. You are always playing an away game every single time. You're playing like a basketball game in Duke's arena. Like your chances of winning go down just because you're playing on their court and the students are screaming. You should never do that. You don't have to do it. When a leftist wants to debate you on abortion, your first question should be a simple one. What are we debating? I will state for you my stand. No, zip it, shut your pie hole, sandwich holster, shut it up, soup cooler, sew it shut. I'm going to tell you my position. You tell me your position, and then we can debate everything in between. The leftists never do that, and we fall in the trap all the time. They start with the most horrendous example in the away field, and you're expected to then start from there and work your way back. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. They start with an rape and incest example that's going to horrify any sane human being. Keep in mind, these are extremely limited cases. Your first question should be then, well, okay, what's your position then on limits? That's your exception? So just to be clear, you're against abortion except for the example you just stated. You just gave me a horrible example of an incestual rape. Horrible. Horrendous. Unspeakably horrible. You gave me that. I accept your example, even though you haven't put a name on it or anything. I'm not saying that, but you've given me this example. Okay, what is your take on that? So you're against abortion outside of that. So just to be clear, if I had agreed on this, I don't believe in exceptions to life, but if I had agreed and said, okay, I believe in exceptions for rape and incest, the legitimate life of the mother, I think, is pretty standard. It's very, again, exceedingly rare. So the rape and incest example, if I concede that point, do you agree with me that abortion's a bad thing? No, I don't. You don't, so why'd you bring up the rape and incest example? I don't understand. You I don't care. Why'd you bring that up? Oh, to stir people's emotions. Because this really isn't about rape and incest. You just want to terminate babies' lives in the womb. Because you just said you have no limitations at all. You see how you're back on the home court then?
Fuck.
Leftists know abortion's an abomination. They're not stupid. They know it. They do. Trust me, they know it. They just look for justification. That's why they put those examples out. But when you turn it around on them, you say, okay, well, if I were to concede that point, and I don't, would then you support any limits on abortion? Watch what they do. Spitting, clawing, screaming, foaming, tearing, pulling their own hair out. What is that, trichotillomania or something? Because they know you've got them pinned down, that they just want to terminate babies' lives in the womb. The exceptions to them mean nothing. They're just emotional examples. Doesn't mean anything to them. There's no red line for them whatsoever. I gotta think. Well, coming up next. Folks, whenever something goes viral, rest assured that the frauds are going to jump on the bandwagon, pretending they're patriotic companies. That's trendy right now. So do your homework when companies claim to share our values. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile's been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Patriot Mobile's been a great supporter of this show. They're the only cell phone service provider that's actually on the front lines defending our values and freedom. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to or better without funding the left and other companies pretending to be patriotic. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting a company that believes in free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, our military and first responders. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation today when you use the offer code Dan. Don't be fooled by fake patriotic TV ads. Partner with the only wireless provider that actually lives for value. patriotmobile.com/Dan. Promo code Dan.
You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show on the Bay Area's home for conservative talk on your radio and smart speaker at 560 KSFO.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. Fun isn't hard. Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use. About travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Get Babbel. Start here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important CT information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication